Now then, YouTube, hope you're all well. This is a VR to Paul, Pipes of Old. Yeah, that was my best impression. Catch you in a second. I'm fantastic at impressions. I hope that wasn't too offensive, Paul. But first of all, before we get into any of that, let me get this housekeeping out of the way. Giuliano Spitaletti, the pipe maker from down south England. If you guys haven't seen it, have a look at my unboxing. I'm going to soon be doing a review. Pipe smoke's as good as it looks, and I've been enjoying it with some plum pudding. Also, still smoking the Escorti that I got off of Simon in his big clearance sale. I've been sampling some Cult Blood Red Moon in that. Interesting aromatic. I don't normally like cherry aromatics. This is a little bit different. It's a different cherry taste, and sometimes you can taste hardly any cherry, and a lot of dark chocolate, and sometimes you can't taste any chocolate and it tastes like glacier cherries. But the Virginias, you know, are definitely front of all that, and they seem to be of good quality. I've only had one or two bowls, maybe 3 or 4, but I'll give you a better idea of what I think to that shortly. I've also been smoking this little baby recently, which is a Stanwell, which I also got for Simon. I think it might be the Pipe of the Year 1990, something like that. And I've been smoking some vanilla roll cake in that. That's a beautiful pipe. So, first of all, congratulations, Paul, on your 150 subs. Well earned, speedily got as well. That's testament to your channel. Now, I'm also a relatively new pipe smoker. I think I've been smoking, I don't know, 4 years maybe. So, I'm not a fountain of knowledge by all means, but I'll give you, I'll give it my best shot on what I think I could have done better, and maybe you guys who are starting out or whatever, Paul's son, can find something good from this. A lot of this is what I've picked up off of the other more advanced pipe smokers, the oracles such as Simon, Dale Piper, Mutton Chop Piper, and whoever else really. But one of the main things is, for me, if you haven't bought your pipe yet, I definitely consider a 9mm filter pipe. Not for filter purposes, and for the most of the population, pipe smokers like non-filtered. But for me, the filter's handy for a couple of reasons. One, it adds a moisture barrier. So new pipe smokers, not all, some tend to be a little bit wet when they're smoking, probably simply because they're not used to having something between the teeth. So it helps absorb a little bit of moisture, so it doesn't run into the bottom of your bowl and create dottle. One of the other reasons is, for me, it helps with draw. because you've got this resistance here, it's harder to draw too much. So I find it, even though I know how to smoke a pipe, when I'm working away and I'm concentrating on what I'm doing, I find with a non-filtered pipe, I can easily start and get the bowl hot. Whereas with a 9mm filter, it's a lot harder. So that's one of the reasons why I go for a 9mm filter if you haven't already bought your pipe. If you have, don't worry about it. I'm a big believer in make the most of what you've got. There's no hard and fast rules. It's a long journey. You're not going to get it right first time. It's not easy, and that's what makes it so attractive, because it's all trial and error. I remember when I first started pipe smoking, I knew there was something there. There was attraction there anyway, through family ties and things, but I knew I was going to like pipe smoking. But my first encounters with it, far from pleasurable, and I was buying these tobaccos, reading the reviews, talking about, and they were talking about grassy flavours from Virginias and etc, toppings and things, and I'm trying these tobaccos and thinking, what am I doing wrong? But I'm afraid it's one of them things what is just trial and error. So another thing what I learnt off of Silvio, Vintage Pipe Nightmares, is if you're smoking a filter pipe and you're unfamiliar with it, pack it without the filter. Which brings me on to another thing which I've thought about since. One of the biggest problems I had when I started pipe smoking is I was watching all these videos on YouTube, which are fantastic. They really are. In every detail, apart from the only thing they can't really tell you is how the draw should be. I think the best explanation was it should be like sucking a milkshake or something like that through a straw. Again, some people like the draw tighter, than others. But there's one thing I found, and that is, if you've got a filtered pipe, put your filter in, test the draw. Can you hear that? You can feel that drawing. Get familiar with it. Take the filter out. Pack your pipe with tobacco so that the draw feels the same as what it did with just the filter. So now you've packed your pipe and it feels like it did with an empty pipe and a filter. Then put your filter in. And that'll be about right. Again, you might have to fine tune it to your personal preference, but that will smoke nice at that. There's all sorts of different packing methods, things like that. Obviously, we're not going to go into that because this video is not about that. But Simon at LCS Briars has recently done a video explaining that quite well. And previously in the past, I have watched Dale Piper. He's got a 3-part series on packing, choosing what all there is needed to know about pipe smoking. So there's them two there. Check them out. I'll put the links in the video. So that's my other benefit, I would have thought, to if you're a completely brand new pipe smoker and like me had nobody who actually smoked a pipe anymore to relate to at the time, that's as good a way as any with the filter. The other thing is, excuse me, let me just have a drink. Around here, this is known as wife beater. I couldn't drink enough of them for me to get that kind of courage. The other thing is tobaccos. Again, aromatic tobaccos for new pipe smokers are often attractive because they sound delicious, and often or sometimes they are, but they are traditionally harder to smoke due to the casings, toppings, moisture. They are harder to smoke, so you perhaps won't get anywhere near the experience that you should be doing. So to start with, it may be that aromatic tobaccos are a bit of a waste of money. So, in my opinion, you're starting out brand new, I'd start with some over-the-counter blends. You know, let's not get snobby about it. There is some decent over-the-counter blends, which, because most over-the-counter blends, to me, are easily smokable. Most over-the-counter blends, you can open the bag, stick it in your pipe, and away you go. Which, when you're new to it, to me, that's what you want: simplicity. Get some tobacco in your pipe, and enjoy it. If you're going to start rolling out and things like that and buying tobacco from here, there and everywhere, that's fine, but it could cause disappointment and in turn make it as though you don't want to do it anymore. So just stick to over-the-counter blends for a while. Just get one, just try it. In England, I'd suggest Special Virginia. It's quite a mellow, sweet smoke, straight out of packet. For you guys in America, I'm not quite sure what your over-the-counter blends are. I haven't sampled many, but I'm sure it'll be a similar situation there. And the final thing I'd like to add is, I've said it before, any of you guys wanting to start out, I mean, I know Paul's son, he's sorted. He's got Paul, but anybody else, if you've got any issues and you're watching anybody's videos, anybody I know from the YTPC, if you're watching one of their videos and you're struggling to understand something, anybody I know, if you were to message them, they would message you back with pleasure, with as much help and as guidance as they could possibly give you, me included. And because we want as many people to enjoy the hobby as much as we do, so that's that. So I'm starting to waffle now, I know, but it's something I feel passionate about, because I was, what shall we say, I started off, before I knew the YTPC, as I do now, I started off on Facebook, and sometimes on Facebook there's some not very nice people. I got told that you should never buy a second-hand pipe because it could have been owned by a new pipe smoker and it will be wet through with dirty, vile slaver. Personally, I don't think that's any further from the truth than you could get. I don't know why all second-hand pipes have to be smoked by a new pipe smoker, and why the new pipe smoker has to dribble in it. This is what we're up against. We don't need that kind of negativity, do we? So, again, congratulations, mate. And I hope this helps somebody. And also, I'd like to say, I've been a bit naughty again, and I've been ordering pipes. One's been in the pipeline for a long time, and that is another author shaped pipe off of Simon, slightly smaller than the last, and the other is another stubby bent billiard, because I know you guys get sick of hearing it, but Simon's stubby bent billiards and I are just meant to be together. Them pipes are fantastic for me as clenchers. You know, I can have a bowl big enough for an hour and a half smoke, and I can clench it all day long. And because it's stubby and bent, it fits under my welding helmet to protect it from splatter. It's a win-win. So, until next time, guys, keep it lit.